Calculating a simple average rate of return for your investments can be a very misleading way to understand the growth or lack of growth in your investments. Let's take a look at a fun example. Here are 5 different ways that a person can average a 20% return on an investment of $100K over 2 years, or 2 time periods. In the first scenario, imagine you get a 20% return in year 1 and 20% in year 2. In order to get your average, simple math requires that you add the 2 numbers together and then divide them by 2 in this example. If you do that, you'll see that 20% plus 20% equals 40%, and divided by 2 gives you an average rate of return of 20%. Seems obvious and simple. Now, let's imagine that you get a 40% return in year 1 and 0% in year 2. The same calculation reveals that 40% plus 0% equals 40%, and divided by the 2 years also equals a 20% average rate of return. In the third example, you get a 60% return in year 1 and a negative 20% return in year 2. Adding plus 60% and a negative 20% still gives us 40%, and divided by 2 years keeps us right at a 20% average rate of return. You probably see where this is going by now, but let's look at 2 more scenarios. Let's try a 100% gain in year 1 and a negative 60% loss in year 2. Again, the average will come out to 20% per year. And finally, for fun, you go to Las Vegas, and on the first day you make plus 140% on your money. But then on day 2, like everyone does, you lose all of it. That's a 100% loss. Add plus 140% and a negative 100% together and divide it by 2, and you'll still show a 20% average rate of return. These 5 examples yield very different real-world balances at the end of the time period. In the first example, had you invested $100K at the beginning, you would end with $144K. In the second, you would end with $140K. In the third, you would only have a $128K ending balance. In the fourth, you would have ended with $80K. And you obviously lost everything in the last example, even though all of these scenarios mathematically have a 20% average rate of return. A better way to calculate or consider rate of return is to look at cumulative total returns for an investment, or to use a better return calculation method, like the modified Dietz method. We prefer to use cumulative total return, or the modified Dietz method, to calculate honest rates of return that can be used for more accurate financial planning and to measure success. Reach out to us if you have any questions or would like to learn more.